We are live from Rhode Island College. The stage is set as we take a closer look at the state's most talked about race. Congressman David Cicilline and Anthony Gemma getting ready to debate the issues that affect us all. Each man hoping to earn your vote in the Democratic primary election coming up on September 11th. Good evening, I'm Tim White. It's been a heated campaign, plenty of controversy in recent weeks, and plenty of issues to explore tonight. In the next 90 minutes, we're going to do just that, going in depth. Tonight's debate is airing live right now on WPRI 12 and WPRI.com. The televised portion ends at 9 o'clock, but the debate will continue online until 9:30, when we will include some questions submitted by you, Eyewitness News viewers. I will be moderating this debate and asking questions, along with our panel, my colleague, WPRI.com reporter Ted Nesi, and from our news partner, the Providence Journal, Edward Acorn. Let's get down to business. We begin with 1-minute opening statement for each of our candidates. The order was already determined by a drawing. We begin with Anthony Gemma. Mr. Gemma is an attorney and businessman. He's the founder of a marketing firm and former president of a plumbing and heating company. This is his second run for U.S. Congress. Mr. Gemma, your opening remarks.
Thank you very much. This election is about the future of our families, yours and mine. I was raised the youngest of 9 children in a family that was economically poor but rich in values. I was raised to tell the truth. Tonight, you'll get to know me as a businessman whose leadership created hundreds of sustainable, well-paying jobs, as a philanthropist who would honor his mother, who died of breast cancer, and found the Gloria Gemma Breast Cancer Resource Foundation, through my vision and plan for putting Rhode Island and America back to work, from my leadership that will restore competence and integrity to the Rhode Island's 1st Congressional seat. Tonight, you'll also get reacquainted with David Cicilline. 2 years ago, on debate stages like this one, Mr. Cicilline looked us in the eye and lied. It is a fact. He told us that he was leaving Providence in excellent financial condition and that he paid down deficits. He lied. In the words of current Mayor Angel Tavares, he was facing a Category 5 economic hurricane with a $110 million deficit. He's going to lie to you again tonight. How do I know? If history teaches us anything, we can't believe a word that comes out of David Cicilline's mouth.
Thank you, Mr. Gemma. Your time is up. Now we will hear from David Cicilline. Mr. Cicilline is the incumbent U.S. Congressman for Rhode Island's 1st District. Before that, he served as mayor of Providence for 8 years. He was also a 4-term state representative. Mr. Cicilline, your opening remarks.
Thank you, Tim. These are incredibly difficult times for our state. 60,000 Rhode Islanders are out of work. 53,000 homeowners are underwater. And in Congress right now, Republicans are fighting for more tax cuts for millionaires, trying to preserve billions of dollars in subsidies for big oil companies, trying to end the guarantee of Medicare and turn it into a voucher, slash investments in education and infrastructure, and restrict a woman's right to choose. I've been working hard every single day battling against this extreme Republican agenda. We need to get people back to work by focusing on the things that have traditionally made our economy strong: investments in education, infrastructure, small business, and innovation. I look forward tonight to a substantive debate on the important issues facing our state.
Thank you, Mr. Cicilline. Okay, gentlemen, let's get to the topics at hand. As you both know, there is no strict format to tonight's debate. We're looking for an open and honest discussion of the issues. We encourage back and forth as long as it's on topic. If I feel you're going too long or you're not answering the question, I will jump in. So let's begin. I realize the elephant in the room right now is the allegations of voter fraud that were made last week. We absolutely plan to tackle that tonight. But first, I want to talk about what is polling as a top issue nationally, and that is jobs and the economy. Mr. Gemma, first to you. Federal figures show that Rhode Island lost 40,500 jobs since the state went into recession 5.5 years ago. In your jobs plan, you pledged to deliver merely 10,000 jobs in the next 5 years. That is monumentally poor job growth. In fact, if we were to go by your plan, it would take 20 years just to make up what we lost. I'm wondering if you knew that we lost 40,000 jobs in 5 years? And if so, why did you set the bar so low?
Sure. I have identified, I'm going to under-promise and over-deliver in this election. And I promised 10,000 jobs in 5 years. What I've done is I've identified 41,000 jobs that can and will be created in the state of Rhode Island. I've identified them in different areas and different sectors. And I'm going to help rebuild Rhode Island's economy in 8 different areas. But specifically, I promised 10,000 jobs in 5 years. I believe that the plan will deliver between 25...
Is that so you could say in 2 years, look, I fulfilled a campaign promise, or in 5 years, I should say, and...
Well, the plan does take into account bringing in private and foundation money in case we can't get any cooperation with Washington. That's the difference between myself and David Cicilline. You can talk about and you can call for this and urge that in a plan, and that's what he's going to do all night tonight. The reality is, what can you do? It's time to roll up your sleeves and work in our state and get our boys and girls and men and women back to work.
Mr. Cicilline, your marquee jobs proposal is your Make It in America block grant. If passed, it would let state and local governments hand out federal money to selected businesses that want to upgrade their facilities. My question, in the wake of 38 studios and even Solyndra, where the government lost out on a $500 million investment, why should voters trust government's ability to pick winners and losers?
Yeah, the Make It in America block grant is really part of a larger Make It in America agenda. Rhode Island has a very rich history of manufacturing. We'd have an opportunity to really grow manufacturing jobs. If we change some policies in Washington, and if we understand that we've got to make things again in this country if we're going to grow our economy. And so we've put together a whole range of bills, stopping the Chinese from cheating on their currency, which will create between 500,000 and 2 million jobs, some economists say, just by leveling the playing field. And the tax breaks that we give companies that ship American jobs overseas and incentivize keeping those jobs here.
I'm sorry, back to your block grant proposal. I talked to industry leaders, particularly in manufacturing, getting ready for this debate. And you know what they told me? They said, grants sometimes come with too many darn strings attached. And what they need is they need tax incentives if they want to make capital improvements. So why hand out more of these grants?
No, that's a very important part of the Make It in America block grant, is to make the investment and research tax credit more generous and permanent. So that's part of it. As I said, it's a multi-pronged strategy. But the Make It in America block grant says identify communities like Rhode Island that have lost manufacturing jobs, make it a competitive grant process, and demonstrate that they will use this to reinvest in capital, buy new equipment, retrain their workers, increase their exports.
Aren't those the strings attached I just talked about?
No, well, it has to be to advance manufacturing. It has to be to promote manufacturing.
And again, to the original question, aren't we picking winners and losers?
No,
Didn't
look,
we fall on our face doing that?
I think what we have to do is we have to recognize that making things again is a key part of the economic strategy of our country. We have an opportunity. Manufacturing jobs have grown in the last 2 years. We want to be sure Rhode Island gets its fair share. But we've got to make things and start exporting American-made goods, not American jobs.
All right, I want to go now to a question from the Providence Journal, Ed Acorn. Ed.
Yes, Mr. Cicilline, earlier this year you apologized to voters for telling them the last time you ran that you had left Providence in excellent financial condition. I should not have used that word, you told Channel 12. It obviously doesn't describe the condition the city is in. It was never my intention to mislead people intentionally. What word would you now use to describe the condition in which you left the city? And specifically, was Mayor Taveras' Category 5 hurricane a fair assessment?
I have said repeatedly that I was overly optimistic when I described the conditions of the city, and I've acknowledged that. And I talked about the work